This episode of Is This Adulting is brought to you by our Patreon supporters. I want to say a big thanks to our new Patreon supporter, Alex C., for your support. We really appreciate it. If you would like access to bonus episodes every single week, as well as coloring pages, special videos, Skype dates, all sorts of things, you can head over to patreon.com/isthisadulting. Thanks. Hey everybody, and welcome to Is This Adulting, the mental health comedy podcast you never knew you needed. I'm your best friend and sometimes shirt wearer, Stephen Pappas.
And I'm your best friend number 2, Chris Kermit, and I'm super into Moana right now. I know this is only about 2 years old of a reference to be doing, but I can't stop singing How Far I'll Go, man. It's in my head these days.
It's inspirational.
It really is. I mean, it is one of those things where you sit there and like, I don't want to listen to it again, and you go, well, damn, I could probably listen to that like 6 more times, so...
It's so good. I have breaking news for you, Christopher, and for all the listeners, but I want to bring in our guest on this conversation because I want his valued opinion on this because it's dark times, everyone. So we could not do this episode alone, just like any episode. You don't want to hear us talk. You want to hear other people talk. So we've got another best friend for you this week. He is a comedian, writer, and podcaster. You know him from his podcasts, all of them. My Brother and Me, The Adventure Zone, and Sawbones, A Marital Tour of Misguided Medicine. Please welcome Justin McElroy to the show. Hey, Justin.
Hello. What a pleasure it is to be here.
What's up, man? And you just released a new one, too, didn't you?
Yes.
The Sawbones book comes out October 9th.
Yeah.
Oh, you meant podcast, new podcast.
Yeah, I was just gonna yes and it, so you didn't have to worry about it.
Yes, and the new podcast is called The Empty Bowl. We just released our second episode of that. It's a meditative podcast about cereal.
It's beautiful,
and that is exactly what it is. And it's
designed. Yeah, it was. You know, it's funny when it seems. I hate to get into like mental health stuff on your show, so excuse me.
Right, it's a taboo subject here.
When my anxiety's been really bad, I have found that like binging podcasts is something that I will like get very deep into. Like I'll listen to a lot. Worst Idea of All Time. I did like all of that in one lump sum. I did this British film review show called Kermode and Mayo, these dudes from the BBC over there. And I wanted to make something like that for people who had anxiety or people who just wanted to relax. So it's like a very specific thing that I find very relaxing. It's all serial chat. I'm recording it with a guy who runs a serial blog named Dan Goubert, and he has a site called Serialessly. Where he writes about cereal, and he's a great like expert on cereal, and just like I got some ocean noises behind it. I got some cool chill music, and I really wanted to create something where it's like this is a place where you are just going to hear about cereal, and that's it, and nothing else, and you can just relax. And it is
relaxing. I will say,
safe space.
So far. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And I will say I also binge listen to podcasts when I am dealing with anxiety. It's how I first got into podcasts, and it's actually where I found Taz. So, yeah, it's awesome that other people do that somewhere out in the world. So, real quick, we're going to get into everything in just a second, but do you want to let everybody know where they can find you on the interwebs, your home address, all your projects, all that fun stuff?
Sure. If you go to McElroyshows.com, that's McElroy shows.com, you can find all of our podcasts and all the stuff we make. I'm at Justin McElroy, McElroy, and on October 9th, I'm putting out a new book about medical history with my wife, who's a physician, based on our medical history podcast, Sawbones, and then it's called The Sawbones Book with illustrations by her sister, Taylor, who's an illustrator in New York, and she worked with us on the book and made the book. It's called The Sawbones Book, and you can get that at bit.ly/The Sawbones Book. So lucky to get that URL.
Super lucky.
Yeah.
And I've had it pre-ordered for a while. I know we're really excited about it. So like, go pick up this book. It's out, you said, on
October 9th.
October 9th. Well, you're getting this. It's the same week, so it's out already.
Perfect.
So why
Please
are you not
it.
getting it right now?
Thank you. Appreciate you.
You gotta go buy it, y'all. Also, Sawbones is great if you haven't listened. I've recommended it on here before, but we also we're lucky enough to see y'all do a live Sawbones in Atlanta. So
cool.
It's cool stuff. Definitely check it out.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Well, before we get into the mental health check-in, I said I had breaking news.
Okay.
Last week we had Hannah Gelb from Analyze This with Hannah Hart and Hannah Gelb. We had Hannah Gelb on the show, and we were talking about a very traumatic experience that happened to me when I was at the Renaissance Fair as a young boy, where I ran into a gentleman called the Chicken Man.
Yeah.
And he drugged me on stage, and it was a long, terrible process. Well, one of our listeners knew of the Chicken Man.
Okay.
And posted a picture in our group, and I do just want to drop that picture into the chat if I can, real quick. So the Chicken Man now has a wife, and I think they're expecting, because he has posted an image of himself and his chicken wife with a large chicken egg.
Wow.
And so I've dropped that into the chat. It is disturbing. I'm scared of it. I don't know how to process it. So I was hoping maybe you could take my question here, Justin, and turn it alchemy-like into wisdom. What do I do? How do I get rid of this image of this man dressed as a chicken?
And we need to explain real fast, just so he has all the context, that you're this small child that's at the Renaissance Fair having your normal, very starch-based Renaissance snack of a bread bowl with potato soup. And this weird dude, because your family came in late, just decided that he was going to drag
me on stage.
This small child up there against his consent. And like, what did he do again?
This is the Chicken Man.
He did really like weird stuff, and then he had like a weird newspaper.
He
and
shoved
put
in
it in
my
your
face.
mouth. Like,
yeah, it was really weird.
Yeah, so this dude is really, really creepy. I mean, I guess it's nice that he found someone to love, and to have eggs with. I don't know.
Is that Bill Irwin in this picture?
I mean,
from like Mr. Noodle. He was Mr. Noodle, and he was in Legion. And
I mean, that's actually a good point.
That's the Chicken Man. I don't know his true identity.
He moonlighted for a while before he made it big in the Renaissance Fair scene.
So that must have been huge for him.
Yeah, it really
get out of the
was.
Renaissance Fair circuit and get on the boob tube. That's amazing.
Yeah, he's really succeeding at a lot of things. But yeah, so I don't know how to unsee this image. I'm kind of scared. Any advice from the two of you? And mostly from Justin, because Chris, I don't trust your advice.
Okay, wow. Makes me feel great.
I would stop fighting it and just accept it. That's my advice on a lot of things.
So like embrace the Chicken Man like as a kink?
See if you can like apprentice you or something. Like you can be an apprentice chicken.
Oh, wow.
You can be chicken boy.
Chicken boy. That's amazing.
It's possible.
Wow.
It's possible if you believe.
That is my nightmare, is being chicken boy. And
that's
also
only because
maybe
you're fighting against it. You need to accept it.
Come on, Steve.
Okay. Chicken boy.
You said you wanted to listen to his wisdom, and I actually agree fully with it.
Do whatever I say. So you're the chicken boy now.
Okay.
Shut up, chicken boy.
Hey, this is my
I'm going to change my
now,
Twitter handle.
Boy.
My new Twitter handle will be Stephen Pappas, a.k.a. the Chicken Boy.
Yeah, you lost your old name. Now you're just Chicken Boy.
Stephen Pappas is dead to us now. Your only name.
Only the Chicken Boy. It's going to be like how Kristen Flemons from the Broadswords changed her Twitter name to Princess Flim Flim after we named her that, and I think it's still that.
Hey, yeah, sure. Just go and scare other small children for the rest of your life. But what
I
a
refuse
cool community
to do
be
it.
hanging out with.
It's your curse.
The Renaissance community.
Well, this has been deeply disturbing, which is why I need to talk about my mental health. So we're going to start this week off just like we do every week with a mental health check-in. Hey, Chris, how you been?
So last week I gave an update, and it's kind of been the same thing for the last couple weeks. Of I wish I could say that I've been just doing really great, and unfortunately, I just haven't. I found myself. I mean, it's funny, Justin, that you were talking about anxiety. How it's amazing how there can be times where it seems like it doesn't necessarily go away, but is dramatically reduced, and you just feel more like yourself. And then there are seasons, like for me, it's been like the last month to where I would say I just consistently feel unsettled. I have moments where I'm able to laugh like this and, make fun of Steven as the chicken boy, and like it gives me like momentary moments of joy. But at the same time, I don't know. It's ironically, I have used your podcast, Justin, to help go to sleep because I have the same type of issues, and it's something where unfortunately anxiety does not shut off when it's time to go to sleep. I wish that was the case because often I found myself using sleep as my way of trying to escape my thoughts, but unfortunately that doesn't always work. So I would say overall I'm doing okay, but I don't know. I would definitely appreciate people send me some good vibes because I've just felt off lately, and I don't know what is going to change that. I keep hoping that something in particular is going to do it. Maybe a walk with my dog or playing video games for a few hours or something, and nothing quite has done the trick so far. So unfortunately, that's where I am, but it's okay. I'm glad to know that both of you have expressed similar type of pains in your time. So Justin, what's going on with you?
Yeah, good. I am very tired, which is not necessarily mental health, but in a way it is.
Yeah,
my wife is waking up at 6:00 this week, and that is, it's just destroying me, and it shouldn't be. I shouldn't be weak and fallible. Overall, pretty good. I found that, I would like to say, I will probably say things, and I'm assuming this is like assumed for anybody who's like on your show or for y'all, but like, I have a tendency to talk about things that are like working for me or have worked for me or not worked for me or offer advice about this kind of thing. And I would like to say up front that that is just for me.
Yeah.
And I don't, because it's very personal what works for other people, and I don't I am not a mental health professional. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I will freely offer advice just through the lens of what has been effective for me.
Yeah.
So anyway, been pretty good lately. Have had a lot going on, and that's usually really important for me vis-a-vis mental health. Had a lot of like traveling and a lot of projects and things to actually be nervous about, which is like good for my anxiety, like things to actually like be concerned about, you know what I mean, and work on, which I have found to be useful. But other than that, like pretty good, again, tired. Woof. Yes, very tired. And that is hard. I think that's like is actually one of those things where it's like, it could seem so out of your hands, a lot of these things, like anxiety.
Definitely.
Stuff. And there's like basic things you can do, and I feel like not sleeping enough is like one of the basic things that I'm fucking up. So I may be like just begging for it, but currently not too bad.
Well, good. I'm glad that considering, and I hope that you're able to continue to stay busy and get your mind focused on things that aren't anxiety. So
I won't, but thank you.
Hey, it's the thought that counts, right?
I've been round and round. I've been round and round.
You and Chicken Boy both,
Is it hard? Is it hard when you all are doing your mental health check-ins? Is it hard to not just like advise each other constantly, like back and forth on like what you should do? Oh, yeah. I know what you should do. I'll fix it.
We've really learned, and this is something that I think that we've both learned separately, and we learned in marriage, and we learned in just in partnership with other type of people. Just the best thing to be able to do is, instead of being prescriptive, just say, God, I'm sorry. And because there have been so many times, I know for me, like I'm not feeling good and someone in my life has said something that is prescriptive. And even though it's completely done with the most well-intentioned heart done with it, it's still just, sometimes it's hard not to be like, man, cool, but fuck you. Okay, but that's not really helping me. So yes, it's very hard, but I think we've at least gotten a little bit of habit of just saying, I'm sorry, that sucks, and I hope it can get better, because I'm with you, man. It's especially when you hear like sad stuff, because you want to do whatever you can to be a support and realize, well, damn, I can't do anything other than be here and let you vent it out. So now I got it. So Steven, what's going on with you, man?
I'm going to be honest. So in the effort of breaking stigma and being open about this sort of thing that people don't talk about, y'all remember we've all talked. We know each other very well. Y'all remember that one time I was on Prozac and that wasn't working. Then I was on Zoloft and that wasn't working. And I was on a bunch of other ones and that wasn't working. Then I moved to Lexapro and that worked for a while, but then it wasn't working. I'm on this Effexor now. And
is that the name of it?
Effexor, yeah.
It's that's my favorite mutant. 2,
yeah.
Are all these to help you quit smoking? Because honestly, cold turkey is huge.
Oh my gosh, Effexor?
Just do it. Effexor.
Yeah,
Effexor transform.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It sounds like
Pokemon.
The noise that a transformer's making while they're like going back into the Earth form. Now it's just a really strange Pokemon is what you're doing.
So anyway,
so I'm on that.
So anyway, tell us about the pills you're taking because your brain don't work good.
Yeah,
sorry.
We're
dunking on the name of your pills.
Yeah, it's okay. You totally can because it's a weird name. It's Effexor, and it sounds even more like a robot because it's Effexor XR.
Whoa!
Shut up.
That's the one with the fucking jetpack.
Yeah, that's when they started using CGI for the animation instead of hand drawing it. So I'm on it, and it's weird. Like, some days are really, really good, and then the next day will be really bad. Like, we're recording these pretty close together with our last episode, and I talked about how the day we recorded our last one, man, I was killing it. I was feeling good. I went to the gym. I went for a run. I ate really well. I cleaned our kitchen from top to bottom. And then yesterday, woof, boy, howdy. I held a bag of goldfish and cried in the middle of a Publix.
Okay.
So
I was about to ask snack or pet.
It was the
context.
snack.
Actually, both. That's what made it so special.
For some reason,
because it's the snack that smiles back, and you're like, "What are you so happy about?"
It did. It made me feel like I was missing out on the happiness.
You dumb chips.
It was a weird moment, to say the least.
Man,
I don't know that I've ever cried in the middle of a grocery store. For some reason, I saw something and it triggered like memories of my dad. And so I just started crying in the middle of a grocery store over a bag of goldfish. And it was just a real weird time, y'all. But gonna talk to the doctor, maybe figure out if there's another really cool cartoon-based drug that I could get on in case this one is not working. So hopefully we will see what happens, and I will keep everyone updated as I know you want to be.
Wow. Well, thank you for that update, and I'm not going to stop thinking about that medication for the next loosely 2 days.
God, I really wish I had ended that mental health check-in with Chicken Boy out, but I didn't. And so, I'm really sad. But I want to mention a few things. First off, y'all did an episode of Sawbones on mental health.
Yeah.
And you spoke pretty candidly, both of you, about your histories with mental health. I would encourage everyone who listens to this show, who has their own struggles with mental health, or even if you don't, I guarantee you have a family or loved one who does. Please go listen to that episode, because that episode, for me, being someone who podcasts about mental health and dealing with myself, was very good to hear, very cathartic for me. So go listen to that. Aside from that, as always, if you have a mental health check-in you'd like to share or an idea of how we can encourage you throughout the week, we will remind you, as always, we are not professionals. And if you're in need of help, please reach out to a mental health professional. Therapy, medication are okay. They are good things to at least explore with a mental health professional. So please talk to one of them. Or if you are in crisis, please reach out to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. But you can email us your mental health checks at isthisadultingpod@gmail.com, and just let us know if you'd like them shared or not, and we will be using those in an upcoming project. So, all of that has been said. It is time to move on to our first topic. Christopher Tyler Grimmett, who lives at 7.
Stop that.
Okay. What are we talking about today?
So we have a listener who sent this in a while back, and anytime we get a chance to like have a topic that a listener's done, it's especially great. And when I realized, Justin, you're coming on, I knew that you'd be the perfect person to help us process this. And so our listener's name is Candace, and she sent us something where she goes, I want you to talk about some of the most controversial food debates that are out there. And so I want to get some of your thoughts about some of these things. So I'm just going to start listing some, and then I want to hear some of your thoughts. It might be really quick. It might be slow. I've got a list. We'll see which ones we get through. Are you ready, gentlemen?
Yeah.
So ready. Is this the first traveling episode of Munch Squad, Justin? Is this?
Oh God, it kind of is. Yeah.
Please don't infringe on my IP.
I'm sorry.
You see Mike Nice Cats. I'd hate to get lawyers involved.
Yeah. Cease and desist is in the mail.
McElroy v. Chicken Boy. It's gonna go all the way up to the courts. Okay. All right. So here's the first one. So this was: do you dip French fries into a milkshake? It's something that some people I've seen are very passionate about, and some think it's the most disgusting thing they've ever seen or heard of. So, Steve, why don't we start with you? Like, where are you siding on this issue?
I side firmly with you do dip French fries into a milkshake. It will depend on the flavor. Not a big fan. Not going to dip my French fries in, say, a mint chocolate chip or a strawberry,
shake, something like that. Yeah,
maybe strawberry. I don't know. But like, you hit me with a vanilla milkshake. Above all, I'm gonna dunk a fry in there all day long. I'm also gonna throw this one out for you: chicken nuggets in a Frosty, y'all. Chicken nuggets in a Frosty. It is life changing. So sweet, salty, just forming an elegant pas de deux on the palate. Wow. It's amazing. Definitely do this. And if you say otherwise, you're wrong. So Justin, how do you feel?
Yes, correct. French fries in the milkshake. I admitted it actually probably like 100 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Totally my thing.
Everybody, you look good for 100.
Thank you. I look good for a guy who's been eating French fries dipped in milkshakes for 100 years, especially.
You do.
Yeah, I'm completely with you as well. And particularly, I think the thing that was like the gateway drug for me related to this was specifically at Wendy's.
Yeah, it's got to be the Frosty is the prime use case, I think, for this.
100%. And then from there, I just started realizing, you know what, I could pretty much do this with anything.
Yeah.
So
there's
good.
No law.
There's no law.
There is a North
order
Carolina.
in this place.
There's some weird Southern backwards ass laws here.
All right, so here is going to be the next one. And that was like a softball because, I mean, I do genuinely think there's only one right answer when it comes to that first question. Mm-hmm. But now this is where it gets a little bit more controversial. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Here we go.
We've heard this argument both ways before. So, Steven, let me know. What do you think?
Here's what I'm going to say. Of course a hot dog is not a sandwich. I understand the argument for, but nah, that's dumb. A hot dog is its own thing. Do not try to include the hot dog in the world of sandwiches. Sandwiches are amazing. Sandwiches are so good. Hot dogs are also great. But let them have their own space. It's kind of like, you know how my anxiety makes me sleep in a separate bed from my wife? I'm just going to dox myself here. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you just need your own space. And I think that hot dogs being lumped in with sandwiches, you're taking that away from them.
Okay.
You are not allowing them to live into the full potential of what they are as a dish. So
let them live their own truth, is what you're saying.
Yes, exactly. Who are we to tell them their sandwich identity? That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Well, Justin,
they're hot dogs. They're not sandwiches. They're hot dogs. A sandwich is between two slices of bread.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It's in a hot dog bun, which is one construction.
Yep.
It's not a sandwich. And those aren't pieces of bread. It's like, what are you doing? You know what I mean?
It's like when people try to tell me a wrap is a sandwich.
It's not. A
wrap is not a sandwich.
No, it's a hot dog. Just let a hot dog be a hot dog.
Yeah.
Why? You would never. Here's a good, like, these are all words, right? It's a taxonomical classification that we're using. You would never look at a pile of hot dogs and look at your neighbor and say, could you hand me one of those sandwiches? It would be ludicrous. It would be absolutely ludicrous.
Everyone would
even
look
do
at
that
you.
with a hamburger.
Right.
Technically, a hamburger might fall under sandwich because it is between two pieces of bread. But
use that
I'm not
test.
Gonna be like, Hey,
right.
Can you hand me a sandwich?
Like, use that test. If you would ever say, like, hand me one of those sandwiches, give me a quarter-pound sandwich. What? Give me a big sandwich. Do you mean a Big Mac? What are you doing?
Okay, I would agree with that. And particularly, I was thinking about, I understand at least the idea of the argument of it being bread and meat. But at the same type of thing, you could argue of saying the bun is less of a piece of, like, 2 pieces of bread. And you could also argue that it's almost a tortilla. In the sense of you're not going to say taco. Give me that taco.
Right.
And so the same way, like it has to be its own thing. And like I said, there could be resemblance to certain other types of food, but it doesn't mean it's the same food.
I mean, yeah. You know what else is bread and meat? Meatballs. There's bread and meatballs. Is a meatball a sandwich?
No, I mean, it's obviously not a sandwich. Why are we still here? There's not other
that's
things
true.
we have to settle?
You're
we
right.
fixed this already.
You're right. We did. What am I saying? So here we go. Here goes the next one.
Justin's like, I got to get the fuck out of here, y'all.
He's ready to solve
this
real
is
debates.
settled law. Like, this is settled law. Hodgman settled this. It's settled law.
All right. How about this? Cereal. Some people love it with a lot of milk, and some people like it with very little milk. So almost the difference of more of a soggy type of cereal or more of a crispy type of cereal. That might not be the best descriptive
This is
words
fucked.
for it.
Let me stop you before you waste any more breath. This is fucked.
God.
Here's the answer. How about you've just listed for me 2 bad amounts of milk? Here's one. How about a good amount? How about not too soggy, not too dry, just like a good amount? You can fuck it up both ways. No questione. You can drown it, or you can give it a little sprinkle like holy water. Neither one is correct. Just use the right amount of milk.
Wow.
It's not a debate. It's like just use the right amount.
What is the right amount?
Just enough, like a good amount. Okay, I will actually. Okay, if it goes above the cereal line, that is obviously way too much.
Yes.
Okay. Right. It should not look like someone has buried giant cereal in a snowbank. It should look like cereal, like the snow is melting and the cereal plants below are emerging back up through the frost layer. Like,
that's a beautiful image.
And if you can't see the milk, that's a non-starter. And this, listen, I'm somebody who, rather than use too little milk, has added water to not having enough milk, has added water, which is basically just 1% milk if you add it to whole.
Yeah.
Like, I've used water to I've put in like coffee creamer before, which is don't do this thing. Don't do this thing. Don't do this. I used to do it when I was on Adkins. I would do like this puffed wheat garbage plus half and half, and it's like, it's better for you, is it? Because it seems like
it is
puffed wheat and half.
Right. We were talking. Who were we talking about this with? We were talking about this with Tybee, and we were discussing. Essentially, she made deconstructed Rice Krispie treat ice cream as a kid because it was just half and half sugar and Rice Krispies.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
You don't need that. I'm kind of with Justin. I wasn't gonna be with Justin on this because I was gonna be like, I mean, I don't mind a soggy cereal, but Justin blew this fucker wide open.
Yeah,
I'm just saying there's a right amount. That's all I'm saying.
You know, it's like some people have that, fictitious like angel and demon on their shoulder, and Justin, you just kicked them both off and said, "Why is there an argument? There's
Why
one
are we
answer."
Fighting? Just use the right amount.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, then we're going to keep on going. Brownies. Everyone loves them. Well, not everyone, but a lot of people love brownies. However, there's a very big debate. Some people prefer the corners, like the edge of a brownie, and some prefer right down the middle, the center, like gooey stuff. And so I'm curious, Justin, you had a interesting grin as I was saying this, so I'm curious.
This is the first good one you've had. I got
okay, well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad the mental health check is over because now I'm feeling insecure. But yes, so here we go.
They're not your.
That's true. You're right. I just picked them from a list.
People are just dumb.
I mean, they're still great to talk about. They're still great conversational topics for sure.
I understand. But so I'm curious. We'll start with you. One with an edge, corner, whatever you want to we'll kind of keep them the same, or a centerpiece.
I would go with. Okay. I would go. Almost assuredly corner, except a lot of times people cut brownies too small and with a corner piece in that situation, you are only going to be eating crust.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that might not be great for you. Like, if you're cutting the brownies, like, you should use the size of the corners as a good guide for, like, size of the brownies. Because if your brownies are small enough that somebody's going to get a just crust piece, I think that's going to be an unpleasant experience. I think you want both to be on offer. That would be my personal opinion.
That's a good point. Steven, are you in the same boat or no?
I don't know. Because I love the crusty bits, but there's something about that center cut.
Yeah.
That filet mignon of brownies. I mean, it's melting your mouth. If you've done it right, it is not raw on the inside. Screw people who... not the people, but screw the idea of just a...
Making a bold statement.
Batter brownie. Yeah, no, I think I'm going to go with the center cut. I love the crusty bits, but I like to eat them at the end, like off the sides.
Yeah.
I'm a monster.
I really struggle with this one, and maybe this is just because I'm a monster that loves every part of a brownie. But if I had to, I think I'm also going to go with like the corner or the edge, and only because there's a little bit of you get a little taste of both. You know, I mean, you get the idea of there's some different textures, and that's kind of hard to beat. And there's something just amazing about the corner piece of really anything, mind you, especially brownies. And so I think the corner is going to win for this, but there's really, if you're going to lose a battle, you're not going to go wrong with either one of those. All right, so I've never actually seen this before, and it seems like very similar to like the arguments of is like a hot dog a sandwich or something like that, but I've never really considered it before, and so I'm just curious. Is soup a beverage?
No. It's food. Who the fuck thinks soup is a beverage?
Here's the thing, though.
Chris?
I'm not necessarily agreeing with that, but the reason why I saw this was there was a big debate because they're saying many people consider a smoothie to be the equivalent of can be both a beverage or a meal. Many people use that, and so because of that, can you make the same argument for soup?
No.
Oh, okay.
I think the straw is the thing. I can't think of a beverage that you couldn't, like, I mean, obviously you wouldn't drink wine with a straw, but that's clearly a beverage.
Says you.
By and large, yeah, right. You can. I think that, like, if you would use a straw, it's a beverage, but no one is going to use a straw for soup. It's just not. Okay. Like, I don't think that that's going to happen.
And to the argument Justin made about you wouldn't be like, hey, give me that sandwich. Same thing with this. I wouldn't be like, I'm thirsty. Let me drink this soup.
Yeah.
Well, you have to understand, though. Yes, I would agree, hot soup, but because there's a thing called gazpacho out there, which if anyone has ever watched Chopped,
it's on every episode.
Yeah, it's because it's a really easy thing. I'm going to make soup, but not heat it up because I don't have enough time. But
do you eat it because you're thirsty? No.
Okay.
Thirst is key.
And I really do think that both that and the straw is what it is what solves it. Because I also was like, no, it's not a beverage. And then I saw someone argue, well, I have smoothies all the time for meals, and I was like, well, damn, that's a decent point. But but you got it. Thank you for bringing me back into reason, boys. I needed it. And so we're now down to the very last one. And I'm going to use a specific meal, but I'm also just curious in general your thoughts about other type of stuff. So we're going to use mac and cheese. There's a debate on the internet, which I was not aware of. Do you use a spoon or a fork for macaroni and cheese? And I never really thought about that before. But which way do you use to eat it? Like, for instance, if you have a bowl of mac and cheese and you go to get a utensil, which one are you going to get? Or if someone says, let me grab you a utensil, which one are you going to say? Steven?
You eat it with a fork. What?
Interesting.
Do people eat it with a spoon?
All right, so how about this? I'm going to keep Justin to be the tiebreaker for this. Fun fact about me.
Wow.
Fun fact. I use spoons a lot.
Okay.
And not just for mac and cheese. For a lot of things that you would probably argue I should not use. But even, I think, like, sometimes if okay, I'm going to sound like a monster here, so I hope that you can still both maybe not respect me, but at least continue to be somewhat kind to me after this. There are times where if I have like a very like heavy rice-based dish, if there's maybe it's rice and maybe like a little bit of orange chicken or something, I struggle because obviously the fork is the way to go for the chicken, but the rice continues to fall in between the fork consistently. And so I often will just find myself using a spoon so I don't have to try and like lap up the rest of it or just like pour it, like bend the bowl back or bend the plate back and try and get it all. I also eat a lot of things out of bowls, I've realized. So that might be part of my issue. So
you do.
But either way, it's my go-to. I am more likely to use a spoon than a fork. I would say 9 out of 10 times, except for if it's something clearly, I'm not going to cut like a piece of chicken or steak or something with a spoon. So I promise you I'm not completely irregular. All right.
Are we disrespecting the spork by not even thinking of it as an option?
Well, I think I would agree with you, but I think not everyone always has sporks at, easy availability. And so that's why if you had to choose one. So Justin, I'm curious, you have to be the tiebreaker. Be the voice of reason. You have been this entire time.
I'm sorry, I gotta say fork. It's
okay.
It's just when you get down to like a spoon might actually get you through the first 3/4 of the bowl, but when you're having to stab some lone boys who are just trying to crawl out the bowl, you're gonna be happy for those tines, no question about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're gonna get more mac and cheese, more bang for your buck with a fork because you can get like layers on there. A spoon, you just get what you get, and then it topples off.
I guess my thought is because it's more of a shovel, you're able to eat it quicker, and then when you're able to eat more quicker, then there's like the 20-minute time period before you start really feeling the effects of how much you've eaten. You're more able to get at least 2 bowls in before you start feeling any effect. When you're able to just shovel it down, I don't know. Am I incorrect?
I mean, why are you not enjoying this mac and cheese?
Mm-hmm. The problem is I enjoy it too much. I just get excited.
I understand.
I just keep going. But okay, I think that's fine. But that was something interesting that I realized. I am made fun of by many of my friends and especially my spouse by half the time she just immediately gives me a spoon, even though if it's not something that I should be using a spoon for. But okay, so those were some of the food debates. I just wanted to get some thoughts. Thank you, listener Candace, for doing that. Maybe we'll do it again. And I wanted to get some of the tried and true ones out first, and so we can eventually start exploring some more of the controversial ones over time.
Sure.
But yeah, I think it's simple. When you have any trouble, just ask Justin, and he'll tell you very plainly.
Yeah,
what is worth your time and what's not.
This is exactly what Twitter is for.
Yeah.
I'm sure he really wants this. Just tweet at Justin McElroy.
Don't do this time.
Oh God.
Yeah. Please don't.
Don't at him.
Yeah, don't at him. He'll hate us. Anyway, we're gonna take a quick break, but we'll be right back with more Is This Adulting? Hey everybody, best friend Stephen Pappas breaking in with your weekly podcast recommendation. So this week I'm recommending a show that sadly is no longer with us, but is coming back. Big news, the Thrilling Adventure Hour is coming back this Halloween. They're going to have new monthly episodes and stuff like that. I'm really, really excited. So if you've never listened to the Thrilling Adventure Hour, you are missing out. It is a podcast that is done in the style of old-time radio, and it's filmed live a lot of times in a Los Angeles nightclub is where they used to do it, and it has everyone on it. So picture an old-time radio show, but with just your favorite people. You've got past guest Hal Lublin, Paul F. Tompkins, Mark Evan Jackson, Mark Gagliardi, who does a podcast with Hal. You've got guest stars, goodness, Allison Brie, Aubrey Plaza, Matt Gurley, Kevin Pollak, Lauren Lapkus, Yvette Nicole Brown, Weird Al Yankovic, Cecil Baldwin. The list goes on and on and on. Definitely check this show out. I'm so excited that it's coming back. It is available in Apple Podcasts or wherever fine podcasts are sold. Back to the show. All right, we're back, and it's game time. It's Chris's favorite part of the day.
I do freaking love games. Almost as much as I love eating with a fork. Or not a fork. Dang it, a spoon. Oh my God, you almost changed
over
me.
To our side.
Slowly. All right, so let me explain to you what this game is. We've played it once before. I thought it was only fair that we brought it back for someone who's played this I know before in a lot of different settings, and specifically when he was working on Polygon. But this is a very popular game that is called Quiplash, and we're kind of inspiring it from that, and we're supporting anyone that you can ever get a chance to go and play that game. Please do. But I call this Reply All. This is how it's going to work. I'm going to name a prompt of some sort, and I'm going to give you 30 seconds. I'm going to have even going to have some music, a timer, so you kind of know when it's kind of at its end. I'm going to have both of you type in suggestions to me, and then I'm going to list all 3 of them. Now, afterwards, I want everyone to vote for which one they think is the funniest or is the best answer to it. However, you cannot vote for yourself.
Okay.
So it's pretty simple. And I have included things. So anytime that I get it one, I'm stealing a point from you. And so the whole point is, if either of you get more points than me, then congratulations, you win. Otherwise, you didn't beat the champ.
I never win.
Well, we've only played once, so I mean, statistically that is correct, but that can always change. So, are you ready, everyone?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna get good Alex Trebek music playing, ready to go. I will repeat it twice, and then I'll start playing, and then you type in your answers.
Okay.
First one: name the lesser-known chapter of the New Testament where Jesus, whatever you think that is, name the lesser-known, or name what happens in the lesser-known chapter of the New Testament where Jesus does whatever that is. Here we go.
This is difficult.
I know. You're not naming the chapter. You're naming what happens in that chapter.
Oh, I'm coming to the end here. Oh, God.
About 15 seconds left. So many things that could happen.
Okay, do I put it in the Skype chat?
Yeah, go ahead and put that there.
And I'm on a different screen, so I can't see anything.
Ooh, okay. I like this. Both of these are good. All right, so here we go. So here are the 3 options that you get to choose from. Everyone may have heard of a few chapters before here and there of Jesus doing some stuff, but have you ever heard of the chapter in the New Testament where Jesus turns water into bubble tea? The chapter where Jesus worse miracles, not works miracles, but seems to create worse miracles. Or 3, where in the New Testament Jesus dabbed on them. So that's one of the 3 options. Did Jesus dab on them? Did Jesus turn water into bubble tea? Or did he worse miracles? So we'll start.
Did he do where Jesus did? Is how that's phrased. Where Jesus did. And then
worse miracles. Sorry. You're right.
I'm not sure who submitted this one, but I think what they meant is.
Yep, you're right.
He did.
I read it wrong. You're correct. So where Jesus did worse miracles? So it's like specifically like it's not necessarily a good one. It's someone's coming and saying like, hey.
It's why it was left out, because it's like, well, that's not very impressive. I'm not going to put that in the book.
Yeah, it's just more of like, I'm trying to think of a good example of this where someone comes with like a really, really like bad ingrown toenail or something, and instead it just performs where there's a sock, not necessarily where it helps. You just cover it up so it's not too great.
All I can think is like Jesus turns water into just Colt 40.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. Well
not
done.
Colt 40.
Okay, so Steven, we're going to start off. Which one are you going to choose? Dabbed on him, where Jesus did very bad miracles, or turns water into bubble tea?
See, I do like the image of Jesus just like kind of half-assing miracles.
That is pretty great.
Or doing not impressive things like card tricks. So I'm going to say does worse miracles.
Okay. So, Justin, how about you? Which one are you going with?
I would say bubble tea.
Bubble tea.
Yeah.
All right. So in this situation, when it is a 1-1 tie, then I will do it, and I can't vote for myself. So I'm going to actually also go with, both because I misread it, as well as it's a very funny image, that Jesus did worse miracles. Well done, Justin. You get the first point.
Yeah, I got a point.
I was hoping that one of you would appreciate the idea of Jesus just going to the hilltop somewhere and just dabbing on all of them. You know, that's just, I was hoping, but hey, it's okay. It's all right. So here we go.
Well, you see, dabbing wasn't invented till later.
Oh God, I didn't even think about that.
It would have been that. Just
historically, it was just inaccurate. Oh my gosh, you're right.
Yeah, it was just an accurate from a historical.
All of a sudden, Jesus does this, and everyone goes like, "Did he sneeze? What is that?
What is that? That doesn't mean anything for another 2 millennia."
Wow,
you haven't. Wow, you obviously haven't read the Dabsy Scrolls. I'm sorry, I can't.
Dabsy Scrolls. Just say it. Just own it and say it. The Dabsy Scrolls. There.
Wow, nice.
So hard.
That's impressive. Okay. All right, so here's the next one. I want you to name a song that you would not use if you were trying to do a striptease. And go. There's so many songs out there, but which one would be not so good for a striptease? Oh, God. Oh, shit. Oh, man. Okay, hey, how about that? Everyone got them in early, and these are some good ones.
These are things we've thought about before.
Not only are these good ones, I like how, as you're going to see, two of them have a similar type of idea in mind. So, a song that would not be helpful or useful or appropriate for a striptease. We're going to start off with The Little Drummer Boy. Yeah, the Pum-Pum-Pum, I guess, is where they would do that. 2, How Far I'll Go by Moana. I think that is definitely appropriate. Or 3, Christmas Shoes. Each of these would be interesting in their own way. So, Steven, you got to tell me which one is not going to be appropriate for the striptease. And I'm especially enjoying this because how much one of these songs causes you deep pain.
It's Christmas Shoes.
You're voting. He is not a fan of Christmas Shoes because it's so depressing. But wow.
But just picturing just me, everyone right now in your brain, just picture me, scantily clad, on a stage,
the chicken
and in
boy.
the background as I shake, it's just, "Sir, I wanna buy these."
All right, Justin, how about you? Which one you going with?
I am gonna have to pick Moana, How Far I'll Go, mainly because Little Drummer Boy is a sexy song. And if you think about that, it's got a low down groove. That's sexy.
Yeah, it's dropping the beat. That is true. Okay, so I have to be the deciding vote, and I mean, when I saw Christmas Shoes, I laughed out loud. So, so I had to go with that one. So, Justin, you get another point. Well done.
Little Drummer Boy. By the way, not only does it have that beat, it has the word rump in it, and so there's a whole slew of moves you can do.
Here's my thought process with that.
Sure.
1, I hate that song.
I know you do.
So that's part of it. But 2, my thought was there being a boy in it would maybe take away some of the sexiness factor, but I don't know. So that was my go-to. But with that, Steven, you're down. You're gonna have to try and come back. So we're gonna do this a little bit more. So here is the next one. This is a pretty funny one. So everyone has played the game, the board game, The Game of Life, and everyone has had to draw a card before. But I want you to name a rejected card that did not make the final cut of the board game, The Game of Life. And this is what I want you to be able to do in it. I want you to say the subject of what happened in the game of life and the game mechanic of, do you go 2 steps forward, or do you go 3 steps back, or do you lose a turn or whatever. So a rejected card that did not make the cut for the board game, The Game of Life. Remember both the subject and the game mechanic of what do you do. This one's harder. Got about 15 seconds. It's difficult, isn't it? And with that, we have come to an end. And it's, all right. Okay, here we go. Wow. So I like how both of y'all pushed it to literally the very last second.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, so the options are, the first one is you start a new medication, go back 3 spaces, then forward, then back, then forward. 2, let the host of the podcast get a free point. or 3, Your overly invested mother found your search history online, and now you must take the next 3 turns to talk about your feelings and the importance of your own sexual awakening. So with that, there are your 3 options for the rejected cards. Justin, you start first. Are you going with overly invested mother, sexual awakening conversation? Are you going with podcast host gets the free point? Or are you going with new medication that goes back and forth, back and forth?
New medication that goes back and forth, I think.
All right. Steven, what about you?
I am gonna go with. Dang it. I'll go with the overinvested mother one.
Nice. I appreciate that. Someone finally chose one of mine. I have to go with it too, Steven. That was funny. The medication going back and forth. That's on par. Well done.
Also, I chose yours so that in the string of like thinking of like the one that Justin submitted, I could get a point because I knew you couldn't choose your own.
I know. Well done. Well done. I was just hoping that maybe you're considering it actually something kind of funny. But here we go, everyone. This is the last one, and this is how we're going to do it. Right now it's 2-1. Clearly, I'm not going to be able to win, so either way, someone is going to do this. But this last one is going to be for 2 points. That way, right to the end, it makes it exciting. So, Justin, if you get this, you win. Steven, if you get this, you win. And if I get it, Justin wins. So the statistics are really in his favor. But all right, so something a parent should not yell at someone else's child after they miss a free throw during a basketball game. What should you not yell at someone else's child? Oh man, he's excited.
No, I'm stymied.
It can be both appropriate or not. So far, some strong candidates. Okay. All right, man. All these are pretty good. All right, so the first one comes off pretty strong, and that is just yelling the phrase "fucking weak." That's definitely something that I think would be appropriate, not so much that for the kid. The second one is where you just yell out both their home address and their bus schedule, or 3, you just yell at the word Kobe. So which one are we going to go with? Steven, you get the vote this time.
Don't make me pick between those.
There's some good ones.
I'm gonna say Kobe.
Kobe. All right. So Justin, what about you? Which one you going with?
Probably Kobe.
And with that, I finally got a point. I feel so good. It makes me feel really nice. All right, but with that, it still doesn't matter because, hey, guess what? Guess who won?
Justin.
You did, Justin. Well done.
Hooray.
Congratulations. You are a true hero, and you did a wonderful job.
Hooray.
So you sound so excited with that.
I feel very empowered.
Do you? Good.
You should.
We need to later. We'll do a special performance of Christmas shoes just for you.
Perfect.
After hours. So, all right, Steven, I'm done. Let's go to the next topic.
All right, we're moving on to our final topic of the episode, and it's just how sexy is Christmas shoes. And the answer is very sexy. Now, if you're asking me why, that singer from New Song has. No, we're not doing this? Okay.
No, we're not.
No, we're moving on to Justin's topic, which, I'm going to let the man introduce it himself.
Oh, man, I put this in an email like 3 weeks ago. Hachi.
Yeah, you got to remember.
I was prepared for this.
No, I was kind of hoping that would be the case just so I could show you I'm a good host. I wanted to like impress you, and I'm proud.
I'm proud of you, chicken boy. Today,
thank you.
Today, you are the chicken teenager. Please continue.
Ooh, you become the chicken man in this.
No,
not yet.
You're right.
Let's not go wild.
Oh my God, you're right.
I don't need 2 chicken men running around.
Oh my God.
There can only be one.
Eventually he'll kill the chicken man, and then he can have the job, but not until then.
Wow, and he'll take his title and his powers.
Yeah, it's a Sith master and apprentice thing. There can only be one master and one apprentice, so eventually I will have to overthrow him. Anyway, yes. Justin's topic was balancing family care and self-care. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about that, because I know that's something that Chris and I have had some issues with before as well. So, Justin, I'll let you take the lead on this one first. So, what's that like for you?
Yeah, it's interesting. It seems to be I really go back and forth on this, and I don't come here with a bunch of like great answers, but
oh sure.
I think that when I first realized that I had mental illness, like I tend to get on a case about stuff. So my mom called it when my dad did it, but get very like fixated on just that, right? Mm-hmm. So like my anxiety was like the only thing sort of in my universe that I was like really invested in, and this started about probably 4 or 5 months before my first daughter was born, which would have been like March. She was born in August, so it would have been like March 2014. But like, I got very fixated on treating my anxiety and fixing my anxiety, which I have come to at this point feel like is maybe the worst possible thing for me that I could do, because it was the first thing I thought about when I woke up, the last thing I thought about at night, and I have and I talked about this in the Sawbones episode a little bit, but I was super fixated on my anxiety, and I think looking back was something of a neglectful, it's probably not a word, a neglectful husband and a neglectful father, like down the road a little bit, and I kind of struggle with that, right? Because in my head, the way I justified that was, well, I need to be a better, like, if I'm healthier, right? If my brain is in a better place, then I'll be better equipped to be a parent. And I think that there's definite truth to that. But I think that there's truth also to, I want to be a better parent, so I'll do the work of, like, parenting and focusing on my kids and my wife, and like not prioritizing my mental health. And I think that the argument you can make for that is not only like that's a good thing to do just as a person, but also I have found that when I'm not in my head and not laser focused on my own anxiety, then it tends to get better sometimes. It tends to be a little bit easier to bear. So I don't know. That's sort of why it interests me, is like the answer, as with so many things in life, is probably somewhere in the middle, finding some sort of balance. But I was just kind of curious, like what that balance was for other people.
I think that something that I've been really trying to figure out is, and especially so for a long time, I worked in different type of like fields or industry, whatever you want to call it, that like are kind of like helping professions. And my wife still works in one like that. And so it especially becomes difficult where you're already spending so much of your day trying to help and be kind to people. And then you feel guilty because you're like, well, it's sometimes being kind to people and being there for people is a lot of work. So you sit there and be like, well, damn, I don't want to work also at home. And so you feel like extra guilty. I think the thing that, for me, as I've been trying to figure out that balance for myself, is one, like, how do I balance the needs that I have, and how do I balance the needs that my family has? And some of them are going to be the same, and some of them are going to be different. And so trying to figure out, how do I take care of both of them? I was watching this show that I think just recently came out. It's called like Single Parents or something. It's like on cable, or we watched it on like Hulu. And they talk about this idea of sometimes as a parent, and neither Stephen or I are one. And so I'm curious if you've ever experienced this, Justin. Like, they talk about how you can almost have this, like, you can fall into this vortex, so to speak, of being like so wrapped up in something for your kid that you can start being frustrated and find yourself like you're not caring for yourself at all. And part of that is to do with just the pressure of society of saying, like, play with your kids, care for your kids. Wait, why are you thinking about yourself? You should be thinking about them, like over and over and over. And I found myself, even though I haven't done that with children, like I have done that with work, and just being like stuck in this vortex to where I'm being no good at work. I'm being no good to my family and I'm being no good to myself. And so it's great. Instead of being successful at one and failing at the other two, I'm failing at all three.
Right.
So that is something that I've been really trying to figure out for myself, and specifically be able to find that balance to where, how am I there for my family and their needs while also being able to not be ashamed of something that I think a lot of people are ashamed and embarrassed to say, of being like, sometimes self-care doesn't mean being with the family. Sometimes self-care literally means like hiding out in a room or going playing video games or doing a movie or just something like a small amount of time by yourself, because otherwise you're going to be a sponge that has soaked up so much you have nothing left to.
That's so tricky though, because I also like doing that. Like, I don't think that, you know what I mean? Like, I think if you're a parent though, like, take me an example. If I were to go to my wife, and this is not accurate for us because she understands my situation, but if I were to go to my wife and say like, hey, I need like 10 minutes to myself, like, she would probably say like, yes, yes, as would I, for sure. Definitely. That sounds amazing. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
10 minutes for myself. Like, that sounds amazing. And like, so that is where like, yeah, that's tough. Cause I also like, I like being by myself, and it not at the expense of spending time with my kids, but it is an activity that I enjoy. And so I definitely like struggle with that, right? It's like, how do I find the line for myself of like, you're doing this because you need to, or you're doing this because you
I see what you're saying. I think that's a really good point. Yeah, Steven, how about you, as someone that I know that you also enjoy spending a lot of time with yourself, being able to figure out what is self-care and what is maybe not self-indulgence, but you kind of get what I'm like getting at? Yeah.
And it's a pitfall. Y'all, being by yourself is awesome.
Until it's not.
It's a really, really cool thing.
I used to have that moment a lot when I was younger, before I had kids, where I'd be, or before like my wife would be working 40-hour shifts at the hospital for a while, right? So I would be like on my own, or she went to Africa for a month to do like relief work there, and I was like on my own, fucking loving it, just like watching Hunt for Red October and ordering chicken wings or whatever. And you get to a moment where you're like, oh no, I've been alone way too long. I'm super anxious. Oh no, I'm in a tailspin.
I have that moment every fall or every spring. So my wife is a theater teacher. And so when the musical comes up in the spring, she is rehearsing pretty late into the evenings. She goes to bed at like 9 because she's got to be up at 6 to go to work. And so it's just like the first like week is super solid, where I'm just like, time to myself in the evenings. I don't know. I'm just going to flick on a little Man in the High Castle over here, and I'm just going to see what's going on in that weird world. And here we are. Oh, pizza sounds nice. Like all this. And then all of a sudden I'm like, man, I should probably do something, right?
Yeah.
I should probably talk to people, right? So I get that completely. But I like spending time by myself, and it is a struggle to figure out what is self-care and what is me wanting to have fun or do something I enjoy. And I think for me, the moment and I'm not saying you should get to this moment, but the moment I know for sure that me flicking on Spider-Man on the PS4 is self-care over wanting to do something I enjoy is when I have literally gotten to the point where I need to do it. And not like I need to because I want to play. I just need to not be in my world for a bit. And for me, that's what a book does or a game does or something like that. It's a way to just like honestly do something else with my brain that allows the rest of my brain to process things. And if I get to a point where I'm so oversaturated and so overstimulated, I do that and it helps me. Now, oftentimes that will lead to the next day where I'm like, oh, I feel better. Man, playing that game was fun. That made me feel good. And then all of a sudden you platinum PS4 Spider-Man within the first like 40 hours of owning it. Whatever. Like maybe you do that. Like maybe you don't. But For me, it's a matter of when I absolutely need it and I know I need it. That's when I know it's truly self-care. But like we've talked about on the show before, I think we actually talked about with Travis, self-care is not just that. Like, self-care is things that I try to balance. And here's where I really have the trouble with the family balance. I try to balance self-care in doing things like going to the gym, or things that I may not want to do, but I know that I need to do to take care of myself. I have a harder time doing those because I am like, oh, well, I'm taking time away from my family to go and do this. And then you get into that battle of, well, am I really taking time away from my family? Because if I take better care of myself, am I not maybe hopefully buying myself more time?
Right.
So for me, that's the struggle I get into, is like, when and where do I draw that line?
Justin, I'm curious. Me and Steven are both married, and so we can at least share some of the experiences from a relationship standpoint. But something that I just kind of started thinking about too, while you were bringing up the very valid point of like towing that line between what is caring for you and what is also like not caring for your spouse or caring for your kids or whatever, by taking more time than maybe is even needed. I'm curious, as a couple that shared and spoke about their experiences with mental health on their podcast, as well as being parents, also self-care not being care for myself, but for like teaching your kids or being able to be a support for your spouse, of like helping encourage and keep them accountable to care for themselves as well. Have you been able to find any type of balance? And maybe maybe your kids are still at a young age to where that's not something that has even come up. But I start thinking about how can, by us modeling, maybe not good, but at least like somewhat healthy behavior and taking care of ourselves, can that also be able to do a good job for kids, for being there for the spouse? So if I see my wife is really struggling, and we have the convenience right now because we don't have to put a bunch of kids to sleep and play with them and everything like that, I can say, go and take some time by yourself because you need it, and that I'm sure there's some point where I'm going to need it. So I'm curious.
It was difficult.
How are you able to do that?
It's tough, right? Like what I tend to do is use my own I tend to use my own behavior as like a good barometer, because I think that sometimes I don't realize I'm feeling a certain way until I start interacting with my wife and kids, and see like the sort of way that they're reacting to the way I am acting, right? Because I work by myself on the internet. Like, I don't a lot of times my brain is just going, and I don't know necessarily how I am. You know what I mean? Like, it's interesting to do these check-ins, right? Because a lot of days, like, I haven't thought about how I am until 5 o'clock when I stop doing stuff. So in that sense, it's kind of a useful barometer to say, like, wow, I just really snapped at you. Like, I must be in a bad position because I just really was like being a real dickhead there for no reason. So that's kind of a useful thing. I think that is also, I am a big believer, and again, this is just me. The most useful thing I ever heard about mental health is the antidote to despair is action. And that is something that you actually get to put into practice a lot when you have kids, because you don't have the choice sometimes. Like you don't have the option. And I have found sometimes if I get into my own head, and I do start playing with my kids, like I can let go of that a little bit, because the reason that quote, it's a Joan Baez quote, the reason that is like so powerful to me is I don't think you can think your way out of mental illness, right? Because that's the thing that's sick. And it's kind of the messed up thing about mental illness, like you can't like think your way out of it. So it has been, I think it's useful to like do something else or be forced to do something else, something that is like good and like unilaterally positive. Like it is inarguably a good thing you're doing. Sure. And I think that can be really helpful.
Yeah. That's great. That's a great point. The idea of being able to also both bring your family and into ways that you can like share in caring for yourself and caring for them, as well as, I like the idea of if you have a broken arm, you're not going to use the broken arm to fix that broken arm.
Yeah.
So
the only exception to that,
recognize that.
The only exception I would say to that is I actually have had a lot of luck with acceptance therapy, which is something that has been actually really useful for me.
Cool.
I read a book called The Happiness Trap 4 or 5 months ago, and it is really, it really has been massively helpful to me, that book. And this idea that you can accept the way that you're feeling rather than trying to struggle against it all the time is like a very powerful idea for me personally.
Yeah.
And I think that's very helpful. It's a good lesson if you're a parent too, because a lot of times like that is your only option because you have other things you have to do.
Yeah. It like, I guess it's like the idea of so if you're in like an argument with someone and they are being what you would believe that to be irrational, most people would not think to themselves, the thought I'm having is completely irrational. In their mind, they think it's rational. So being able to like acknowledge the same type of way of like, I feel like absolute crap, or I'm super pissed off, being able to accept like, okay, this is the reality that I'm feeling. I'm not an idiot. I'm not broken because I feel this way, but I have to recognize that in order to be able to get past it, so to speak.
Yeah, I love my wife, and I've known her for 20 years, maybe more. If we're having a conversation and she says something like completely out of left field, shitty to me, my reaction is going to be like, it's not going to be anger. It's going to be, ooh, okay, I'm not very smart, but I know something is going on here. What is going on? And I think you should show yourself that same courtesy, right? Yep. I know I'm not a bad dude. I don't think I am. Nobody does, right? But I don't think I'm a bad dude. So like, why am I acting this way? Huh? Well, what other reasons could there be? And sometimes it's just you haven't slept because your wife's waking up early.
Those are the days. Let me tell you now. My wife wakes up early a lot, and I just have learned to sleep because I just retreat to the couch on those days. So
here's the thing. Though. When you have kids, you don't have the couch anymore. There's no couch. You have to raise. You have to parent. You have to nurture. There's no sleeping in.
They hop on the couch.
Yes, they are the couch. Oops. Look behind you. The cushion's a child. There's a child there the whole time.
You're really selling the idea of us having kids.
No, it's a constant joy and a delight. But it did it sent me into therapy before they were even born for anxiety. And anyway, and I'm extremely tired, but they're great people, and I'm glad to do my part for the species.
You gotta pull your weight there.
Hey, somebody went through it for me. Least I can do is put a hand down, help the next human being up.
You've gotta keep the McElroy line going, right?
I have 2 daughters, so maybe not. I don't know. Who knows?
You gotta try. Anyway,
I need an heir.
Chicken man. I need
a chicken son.
A chicken son. Perfect.
Oh, by the way, while we were talking earlier, I did change my Twitter name to Stephen Pappas, the Chicken Boy.
There you go.
Nice.
So we'll see how that goes over. Maybe I'll get more than 87 followers. Anyway.
My daughters are my heirs, by the way. I didn't want that to seem like I wasn't joking about that. I don't want a son.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Boys are the worst, all of us.
Boys are the worst.
Mm-hmm. Well, unless y'all have any final thoughts, I think we're going to start winding down.
Good.
If you would like to send us a topic for discussion or a mental health check-in, or you have anything else on your mind, we will remind you again, we are not professionals, clearly, but you can send that to us over at isthisadultingpod@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter at isthisunderscoreadulting. I'm at the Stephen Pappas. Chris is at Chris Grimmett.
That's not what you are anymore, right?
My Twitter handle's the same,
Gotcha.
but my
Okay,
name
is
different.
different.
God,
I'm
you
sorry.
know
I just
nothing
want to
about
make
the
sure.
Twitters.
I want to be clear. That is true. I'm not.
Gosh, I'm an expert. Come on. You can find us at our Facebook discussion group if that's your thing. It is a safe space and a brave space for people to share about their mental health struggles and also to post weird pictures of the Chicken Man and gifs of dogs holding balloons in their mouths and just whatever else brings you joy. But it's definitely a supportive place. There's 600 or 700 people in there right now, and they are lovely, lovely folks. So definitely check that out. And hey, if you're over on Apple Podcasts and you feel like throwing us a rating or review, I mean, we're not going to say no. Last but not least, I know Chris is going to interject here. We want to say a very special thanks to The Collection for the use of our theme music, The Borrowers from Ars Moriendi, their first album. And with that, I'll hand it over to Christopher.
Just a reminder that they are on tour for the next month or so. So if you can, go and check them out. Not only are they huge advocates themselves of mental illness and being able to fight that stigma and be aware of what's going on and sharing that with the world. They've I know for them, their last few albums, especially this one, has been like therapeutic as well. So if you can, go out and support them. They're going to be across the country. Just go and check thecollectionband.com and you can find them. They're like a folk orchestra is a good way of describing them.
They're pretty awesome. So definitely check them out. Justin.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
Do you want to remind everybody where they can find you and maybe talk a little bit about that good book you wrote?
Yeah, it's the books, bit.ly/the Sawbones book. If you like medical history, or not, I was going to say mental history. That doesn't make any sense. If you like medical history, or know somebody who does like kind of like weird old medical stuff, ways we used to treat people, it's a great book. Makes a great gift. bit.ly/the Sawbones book. Please buy a bunch of copies of it this week. And also want to give a plug to drinking water. Hey, if you're feeling down and things aren't going your way, have you tried drinking a whole bunch of water? Because you'll be surprised how often it's like, oh, I was thirsty. Ah, crap. Okay, that's on me. I was thirsty.
Wow. That's a good idea.
I really love that you've basically given them a new slogan. If you're feeling down and things aren't going your way, try water.
You know, the big business, the big water company for a while now has been struggling. So that's their new slogan to get them through. But yeah, seriously, go and buy that book. I mean, Justin, it is the artwork I've seen in it is freaking beautiful.
Yeah,
like
Taylor did a great job.
It's so cool to be able to see that. So I'm excited to read it.
I'm very proud of it. It's very hard to write a book. There's so many words you wouldn't even believe.
Oh my gosh.
I know nothing of words.
I'm intimidated.
Except for what I read. So, well, that's awesome. With that, that's going to do it for us here in Is This Adulting this week. I've been your best friend, Steven.
I've been your best friend, Chris.
And I have been and shall remain your best friend, Justin.
Beautiful.
And remember, kids, be happy, stay healthy, and go hug someone.
Because you never know. They may be all hyped up on that new medication, Experior XR.
Experior?
What's it? Experior Nitro Blaze Blue Crystal Edition.
And it just comes in a bottle that says NOS.
Sorry, Effexor. That's what it is. I said the wrong thing. I couldn't help it.
But. Oh, my gosh. Of course. Making fun of my meds. Y'all have a good week.
All right, bye.